picks could be most influential for crypto, and which proposed regulations will be a top priority for lawmakers in 2025.
Congrats on this event, another good one. Any key takeaways from today so far?
I think the industry is really excited about the fresh start that we have before us, and then stablecoin. That is something that in the first Trump administration and then also in the Biden administration, the president's working group said there isn't the right federal framework in place. And so we need to see some legislation that allows for a federal option for stablecoin regulation, but we also want to support the states that have already taken important steps and have allowed stablecoin issuers to be regulated that way.
So we have talked about what you'd like to see prioritized and how the legislative process might be different in the year ahead. I'm moving into sort of the predictions section here. So what do you think that we will see happen in 2025? Top three trends that you're watching.
I think we're going to see Congress make progress on a bill. I think we're going to see the president and the prudential banking regulators really take a stand on the debanking issue. I think that one is really big. And it's my hope that we're also going to see the Treasury Department or Congress really put a solid marker out there on self-custody. But we're also really interested to see the SEC and the CFTC use the existing authority they have to answer some of the questions around the clarity of which laws apply when. And so I think just having a little bit more certainty combined with some additional authority granted by Congress, that we could have a really thorough policy in place that allows the innovation to happen here. And I think the more and more progress we make on the policy front, I think the more interest we're going to see, from additional retail investors, but also new investors.
And then if we talk about a strategic Bitcoin reserve on the national level, and you see Bitcoin take off, and that is still, a resounding theme that kind of like awakens the animal spirits.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that the United States needs to be looking at problems to figure out how are we going to pay for everything going forward. And so I think from the U.S. perspective, looking at having a Bitcoin strategic reserve of some sort could be very valuable in helping address some of that. I think this is a scarce asset. There's only going to be 21 million Bitcoin ever, and the U.S. is probably going to want to own some. I think from my perspective of the Blockchain Association, we're really focused on more of the crypto side of things. It's the piece of it that we don't know what the rules of the road are, where people can comply. Bitcoin's a little bit different because everyone agrees it is a commodity. It doesn't have those same securities laws issues that other parts of the industry have had to deal with. I think the industry is really excited about the fresh start that we have before us. We've had a lot of guests today that are going to be taking the chairmanship roles of relevant committees in Congress, and we've had a lot of folks that are going to maybe be in acting capacities at the regulatory agencies soon. And so I think we're really excited to turn the corner and move forward with finding the right policy framework for crypto here in the United States.
Kind of made the crypto market do this 180, and from your view and your work, what has this transition from November to now and through early 2025
we've been very eager to see who gets appointed to key spot difference.
You mentioned the CFTC. Any other appointments you're waiting to see?
I think we would be very interested to see some of the undersecretaries at the Department of Treasury, particularly the one dealing with terrorism and financial intelligence. And so, we're going to be watching those closely. But yeah, I think the folks we've seen in place today are very encouraging, and I think they're going to be people we can work with come January.
Now, you talked about looking at different people's priorities heading into next year. Those are still the two.
Yeah, I think a more narrowly tailored market structure bill, and then stablecoin. That is something that in the first Trump administration and then also in the Biden administration, the president's working group said there isn't the right federal framework in place. And so we need to see some legislation that allows for a federal option for stablecoin regulation, but we also want to support the states that have already taken important steps and have allowed stablecoin issuers to be regulated that way.